Have you ever experienced a random act of kindness that changed your perspective? How did it affect you? Share your story below, because you never know who you might inspire. And now, let's dive into today's heartwarming story. Every week, a retired elderly gentleman from Minnesota went to the grocery store. He was an old school bus driver who lost his beloved wife, Nancy, 3 years earlier. Before she passed away, Nancy had written down a list of groceries they needed every week. The list included simple things like milk, eggs, bread, and apples. They also had a special item, coffee. For the old man, it was just a simple habit. But for Nancy, it was the key to a perfect day. She knew that if she bought her husband's favorite coffee, it would make him incredibly happy. So it was a tradition that they maintained until she died. After Nancy's death, the old man, whose name was Frank, continued going to the same grocery store and buying the same things, including the coffee. It was the only thing that kept him going and the only thing that kept Nancy's memory alive. But last Friday, tragedy struck. After finishing his shopping, Frank went to sit on the bench outside the store and drink his coffee. But after a few sips, he realized something terrible. His wallet was missing. In a panic, he started searching the parking lot, but it was no use. His wallet was gone, along with his pension money, his ID, his credit cards, and his dignity. As he sat on the bench, defeated and desperate, he didn't notice a young woman walking towards him. Her name was Megan, and she worked in the store as a cashier. Megan was a strong and independent woman who took care of her 5-year-old son, Tyler, all by herself. Being a single mother wasn't easy, especially in a small town where jobs were scarce and resources were limited. But Megan didn't complain. She was a fighter, and she did everything she could to give her son a better life. One day, while Megan was working as a cashier, she saw a regular customer struggling to reach for an item on the top shelf. Without hesitation, she left her post and climbed the ladder to help him. As she handed him the item, she noticed that he was an elderly gentleman with a kind face and gentle eyes. His name was Frank, and he was a retired school bus driver. Megan had seen him around town, but she had never spoken to him before. Something about his demeanor and the list in his hand caught her attention. So she decided to strike up a conversation. "Can I help you with something?" she asked with a friendly smile. "Oh, I'm sorry," Frank said, startled by her sudden appearance. "I didn't mean to bother you. I just need some help reaching that can of corn," he replied, gesturing towards the top shelf with his cane. "No bother at all," Megan said, chuckling. "I'm Megan. What's your name?" "My name is Frank," he responded, his eyes twinkling with gratitude. "Thanks for your help, Megan. It's nice to meet you." As Megan handed him the can of corn, she couldn't shake the feeling that she had seen him somewhere before. "You look familiar," she said, trying to place him. "Oh, you probably remember me from when I drove your school bus route," Frank said with a smile. "Of course," Megan exclaimed, realizing who he was. "You were the kindest and most patient bus driver I know. Everyone loved you." "Well, not everyone," Frank teased, winking at her. "Some kids were troublemakers and kept me on my toes." Megan laughed, recalling the mischievous antics of her younger self. "Guilty as charged," she said, feigning a guilty look. "But seriously, thank you for everything you did for us kids. You made such a difference." "It was my pleasure," Frank replied, his eyes filled with warmth. "You were all a joy to drive. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some more shopping to do." "Sure, of course," Megan said, stepping aside to let him pass. "If you need any more help, just let me know." "Thank you, Megan." "I will," Frank said, nodding his head in appreciation. "Goodbye." As Frank walked away, Megan couldn't help but feel a sense of admiration and respect for him. She remembered how much he had impacted her life as a child, and how he continued to be a positive force in the community as a retiree. She knew that she wanted to do something nice for him in return, so she came up with a plan. Megan approached Frank as he was putting his groceries on the counter and introduced herself. "Hi, Frank, it's me, Megan from the grocery store. I just wanted to say thank you again for being such a wonderful school bus driver. You really made a difference in my life, and I'm sure the other kids would agree." "Oh, it was nothing." "Really?" Frank said, blushing slightly at the compliments. "I just enjoyed driving the bus and being a part of the community." Well, I still think you deserve something nice, Megan insisted. How about I buy you a cup of coffee as a token of our appreciation? Oh, you shouldn't have, Frank protested. But Megan insisted, and soon they were seated at a small table sipping their coffee and chatting about old times. Frank told her about the students he used to drive, including a funny story about a boy who fell asleep on the bus and missed his stop. Megan laughed, remembering the mischievous prankster who was always getting into trouble. As the conversation continued, Megan learned that Frank was a widower. His wife, Nancy, had passed away a few years earlier, and he missed her dearly. She was the best, Frank said with a wistful smile. We were married for over 50 years, and she was my best friend as well as my wife. I miss her every day. Megan felt a pang of sympathy for Frank. She knew what it was like to lose someone close, and she understood how difficult it could be to move on. I'm sorry for your loss, Frank, she said softly. I can only imagine how much you miss her. It's all right, Frank replied with a sigh. I'm getting old and it was her time to go. But that doesn't make it any less painful. Sometimes I feel so lonely, and I wish I had someone to talk to who understood. Megan felt a surge of empathy for Frank. She knew that she had to do something to help him cope with his loneliness and grief. Well, if you ever want to talk or just have someone to hang out with, you can call me, she offered. Really? Frank asked, his eyes lighting up with surprise. You'd like to spend time with an old man like me? Of course, Megan said with a smile. You're not old, and you're definitely not weird. I consider you a friend, Frank, and I want to support you in any way I can. Frank's heart swelled with gratitude. He could unbelieve that someone as busy and important as Megan would take the time to befriend him. Thank you, Megan. That means more to me than you know, he said, his voice trembling with emotion. I'll call you soon. As Megan walked away, she couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. She knew that she had made a difference in Frank's life, and that he was as alone as he had been before. She looked forward to spending more time with him and helping him through his grief. Little did she know that their friendship would blossom into something truly special. Now, dear viewers, we come to the end of today's touching story. We hope you enjoyed following Frank and Megan on their journey to friendship and healing. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with others who might find inspiration in it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on our future uploads. Thank you for watching. Until next time.